I have a friend who actually makes, he's a swordsmith.
Oh, that's
like full time.
Awesome.
And a very, very pure swordsmith at that, because they collect their own iron from riverbeds. They don't get it from the mills.
Wow.
So I got to see that firsthand and saw how a sword is actually crafted. So that was fresh on my mind when I said, sharp like an edge of a samurai sword, like that was a whole story behind it.
Wow.
Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, it's the Anime Effect. Each week we bring you the latest news and views from the shows you love. It's pop culture with an anime lens. Today, I cannot believe we get to do this, and by we, I mean you guys. You guys being Leah and LeAlec. But the Anime Effect is talking with the legendary Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1. You know Shing02. He worked with Nujabes on Lovesick, including, most notably, Battlecry from Samurai Champloo.
Which you heard at the Anime Awards earlier this year.
Yes.
Killed it.
Shing02 is currently on tour with OMA, and they're stopping by the studio in just a few minutes to talk with us. Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1 are stopping by the studio.
Yep, they'll be back.
So excited.
I'm excited. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all went to the show.
Yes,
so.
it was phenomenal.
So good.
You'll hear us
So good.
talk about it more during the show, but
We'll wax poetic about it later.
Yes, I cannot wait to listen and watch, and I am so jealous that you guys get to talk to them.
I am seriously pumped for the show today and for the interview. Huge fan of these guys. But first, we're sharing our latest casting updates for the live action One Piece series. Some exciting and not so exciting news for Nintendo. And we're discussing a new concert film coming next month.
I'm wearing a nondescript t-shirt this week. I'm your host, Nick Friedman.
I'm wearing a band t-shirt. I'm LeAlec Murray.
and I wish I had his t-shirt, but I didn't get the merch, unfortunately. So I am a Tangerine? Leah President.
Tangerine Leah. And the three of us, and later, Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1,
Hell yeah.
we're going to see just how powerful the effect of anime really is. I have some really unfortunate news to start off this episode with.
Sure.
Wow, that sounded really serious.
It
It's
did.
not
Just
serious.
rip off
I would
the
never do
Band-Aid.
that to you guys.
Please?
Last week, we got a comment on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube.
And I've got to pull it up because I've got to read it word for word because it hit me in my soul. From @GenericFanboy on YouTube.
What up?
They said, I like this show. Well, thanks, Generic Fanboy. I appreciate you. But no one said, we're back next week and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, did we not?
At the end of the episode, at the end of this episode, so this was our bracket episode.
We let him down.
So does that mean there's something someone can do to stop them now? You have left yourselves exposed and jeopardized the future of the podcast, you fools.
Oh my God. Oh
You
my
fools.
God. At first I was like, okay, I thought he was like digging on us like, okay, now we can stop them.
Right.
He said he liked the show.
So in our hubris, we kind of thought you already would know that there is nothing you can do about it. But I guess we have to verbalize
We have to remind you.
You have to remind you.
And we'll do it at the end of the show, but just as a reminder.
There's
It's
nothing you can do
fine
about it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing you
We're
can do
here.
about it.
Not going nowhere.
Yeah.
We might have t-shirts. Who knows?
I would, if you buy a t-shirt that says there's nothing you can do about it, actually, I don't
That's a
know.
little
That's
dicey.
bad.
That's a little dicey.
Scratch
little
that,
bit.
scratch that.
Just
If
a
you have
little
ideas for t-shirts for the show, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I would actually love to see what people come up with.
Yeah, actually scratch the there's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about it.
But no, if you
That
got
rhetoric.
Hashtag thumb and pinky. There's nothing you can do about it.
Now we're getting into
Now
it.
we're going
Now
somewhere.
getting into it.
Let's go. Next up, we are diving into the new One Piece live action cast, the latest from Nintendo,
Ooh.
and an anime concert coming to theaters, which, you know, we love anime music.
We do.
We're here for that. We are anime music concert attenders.
Attendees.
Tendies. Chicken tendies.
All right, say the rest.
Oh,
Just say all
there's
that in a
more.
sec.
All that in a sec.
Oh, I love it.
It's time for the news, Nick. Want to start us off with that One Piece update?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the N in my name actually stands for Nick, but then the N in that Nick stands for news.
Oh,
so what's the full? What is it called? It's not an acronym when you go through
an anagram.
An anagram. Enneagram?
My brain said Punnett Square.
It is not. No.
I love
All right.
squares.
You'll have to keep listening to learn what the other initials in my name stand for.
Now for the extra portion.
Extra. One Piece live action has been dropping these little casting tidbits over the last week or so.
Yeah.
But we just got some really, really big casting drops. As you know, season 2 is in production. I think we've all seen season 1 of the live action. Very excited for season 2. I love the cast. We officially, for fans of early One Piece and the Alabasta story, even though Oda confirmed that Alabasta would not be covered in this season, we did get casting for Cobra, the King of Alabasta.
Yes, not Cobra Kai.
Or Cobra Commander.
Yeah, neither of those, actually. And Miss Wednesday. Miss Wednesday, who... I mean, if you've seen One Piece, you know who Miss Wednesday is. But I don't want to spoil it on the show.
Same.
We're going to call her Miss Wednesday. So Sendil Ramamurthy is Cobra.
That's a great pick.
Honestly, you will know him for his work as Bloodwork in The Flash.
He wasn't bad
as the CW The Flash.
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
And Mohinder in Heroes, which is a throwback. But
loved Heroes.
Bring back Heroes.
Somebody save me.
Was that Heroes? That was
no.
That was Small.
Oh, that was
Smallville, bro. You saw me jamming out. That was Smallville.
You're right.
Smallville's also great.
Smallville is great.
I did love Smallville.
Do you remember when Superman gets his heat vision powers in Smallville and they play it like he's going through puberty?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I watched Smallville in French class because I think it was made in Canada or something like that. And so my French teacher would play it for us in French with subtitles. So I have only seen Smallville in French dubbing.
Wow.
I watched the whole series in French dubbing.
I love that.
So I have no idea what their real voices sound like.
I prefer to watch Smallville subbed.
Oh my God, bro.
And then, of course, the casting as Miss Wednesday, a member of Baroque Works, is Charithra Chandran, who you will know from Bridgerton.
Heck yeah.
Bridgerton.
Up the Bridgerton.
I love Bridgerton.
Casting is so good, and they continue to knock it out of the park. I know, Oda Sensei is obviously part of the casting process, but just whatever the team is, the live action team that is working on finding the folks for this series, they just embody the characters so well.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job.
Of course, we already know David Dasmalchian is playing Mr. 3.
Friend of the show.
Love him.
Friend of the show. We got to get him back on.
We do. After he's done with this, we got to get him back.
Yeah.
But before we roll into the next news bit, do you guys have any dream cast picks for Chopper or Nico Robin?
Oh my God. Well, they'll probably, obviously, he's going to be a CGI character.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you say obviously.
Or do you think they'll make him a puppet?
Well, I mean, there's a few different ways you could go with this. You could go puppet.
Like Grogu.
You could go animatronic. You could go CG. You could, if you've seen Sweet Tooth on Netflix, you could have it be a child actor with deer
like
antlers.
An Ewok?
I would not like that at all.
Okay.
But
I'm just saying, I don't think it's so clear exactly what they're going to do.
I would love a, prosthetic effect moment for Chopper.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool. I think you can, like you said with Grogu, I think it works really well. Yeah, I'd like to see some of that. As far as who to voice, I don't know. That's even for
Gilbert Gottfried.
Absolutely not.
I feel bad because I love the English dub of One Piece.
Yeah.
I can't see Chopper and not hear Brina Palencia's voice.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I would just love for Brina to come back and just be Chopper voice. But if that's not the case, then I don't really know.
But that transformation scene is gonna hit. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool.
Honestly,
he'll transform like a werewolf in London.
I mean,
that actually might be kind of cool.
Well,
I'd be into it.
If either of y'all have seen the Umbrella Academy, or if anyone else there has seen Umbrella Academy, Tom Hopper, who plays Luther, the big hairy guy, that to me is what Chopper should look like in live action as Monster Point.
They're gonna cast Dave Bautista to do it though.
They can't cast Dave Bautista now. Have you seen him? He's slimmed down a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. He dropped a lot of muscle mass. He said his muscle mass was like getting in the way of his like film casting stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Last
Nico-
time I saw him, he was in that Shyamalan movie, and he was
He's
up
Oh,
in
Knock
that.
at the Cabin.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And then, Robin. I don't know who I feel like Robin's casting is going to be when they show us who's playing Robin, you're going to be like, yeah.
Mhm.
But it also, you kind of think about it, it also has to be somebody that matches with the Straw Hats we already have.
Because the chemistry is so
Because the chemistry is
good.
great, for sure.
And
Like,
they're full of joy. I
so
love
They
them.
just love doing it.
Love
I love
yeah.
seeing all of Makenyu's, who plays Zorro,
Yep.
his comments on the Instagram posts of the rest of the cast when he's not in the photos.
Yep.
He'll be like, on my way, guys, 5 minutes. On like every post. I'm like, it is so Zorro.
That is so Zorro.
Would you guys go to a Nintendo museum?
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
We're right
brother.
near a video game museum.
That's true. Have you been to that? It's pretty cool.
I really want
Pretty
to
cool.
go.
Well, that's not the one we're talking about. The official Nintendo Museum is opening its doors in Japan on October 2nd.
I am so pumped. If you guys didn't watch the Nintendo Direct that talked about this, like just the history behind the building they're using for the museum, incredible.
Yep.
Incredible stuff.
Yep. So, like you mentioned, there was a Nintendo Direct focused specifically on the museum, which I love that they use the Direct branding for things like this.
Yeah, it's great.
They gave a virtual tour of it, and just a small portion of it, because Nintendo has a long and storied history. They've been around for over 100 years. They used to make toys.
Yeah. Like playing cards,
yeah.
yeah.
The little like spring boxing glove thing.
Baby strollers. It's weird.
So yeah, it includes like that whole history. So you have the toys and the games, and then of course the video games. There will be workshops. Like it seems like such a like great idea. I would love to see a Nintendo museum open up here in the States as well.
It'd be great.
But this first one will be in Kyoto. Before we dive into more of what this museum has to offer, there are giant Nintendo game controllers
Those are crazy.
that you can play the actual games on.
Crazy.
It's like the equivalent of the piano steps at
yeah.
FAO Shorts. Like,
So can I play Smash Brothers on the giant GameCube controller? Is that what
Yeah, I
we're
was like,
doing?
let me get a giant Nintendo Switch Pro controller. You start like teching in like Pokken tournament. Yeah, that sounds great.
wouldn't that be crazy if they played a tournament with that? That would be so
Just, like, elbow
giant
dropping on the
controller
buttons.
Yeah. You couldn't button mash without like actually punching.
You need
it.
like 3 people to operate it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're piloting the giant game controllers. What is something that they didn't show that you would love to see at this museum?
Well, first of all, we need to get you the baby stroller.
Well, I mean, if
Nintendo
it's an
baby
ancient baby stroller, there's a chance it has like lead in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll
And
pass.
haunted.
Maybe you give me like a photo of the baby stroller.
Wouldn't it be weird to see like a grown-up person who used that baby stroller, like being like, "Ugh." Well, no, he wouldn't be in the museum.
Well, I figured, and then I figured he also wouldn't be in the stroller.
Yeah.
So
It's like the bodies exhibition.
no, God.
He's like standing next to
I
the
won't go to
stroller.
that. The bodies.
No,
are
it's
too existential.
controversy.
It's too existential for me. I don't want to see dead bodies.
Yeah.
Like I would like to go my whole life without.
Do you know
seeing
what we're
one.
talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
What do you want to see in the fun, playful, non-existential Nintendo museum?
No bodies stripped
so
of their skin.
Death is not real in here.
So, like, I don't know if you guys have been to the Nintendo store in New York.
You know I have. We've been together.
Well,
the artifacts.
I always have to double check,
With
make
me,
sure it's not
who
a
you've
fever
been
dream.
with?
We get lost when you leave a
That's
lot of
true.
times, all right?
That's true.
But I love how they have the console displays, and they kind of showed some of that in the direct.
Yep.
But I'm so excited to see like how expanded it is, because a lot of those consoles have a super great history.
Yep.
I mean, even the Virtual Boy that doesn't have a really great history. Like it'd be cool to see like not only all of the machinery, but then all of the subsequent games and stuff that go with it.
Well,
as
like what
too.
led to that point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Like,
what
whatever.
led you from, hey, here's the big brick Game Boy to
Yeah.
now like
Yeah.
we're at the Switch, right? So I'm
I
excited
also-
to see that chronology.
I also heard they had
Yeah.
potentially moved some of the stuff from Nintendo NY to this museum.
Really?
Like, I wouldn't be
I remember that
surprised.
case of all the
Yeah.
Of all the
like,
console, they had all the amiibos.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but one of the things I love that I don't know if it's still at the store there is there's a original Game Boy that survived like a bombing in Desert
Yeah.
Storm,
Whoa.
and it
Whoa.
still worked.
It's cool, yeah.
And it's like you could tell it's like clearly like superheated and melted
Yeah.
and everything, but it still turns
Still
on.
works.
That's like, it's almost exactly like when that person's car caught on fire and their Stanley stayed like cold and it had ice in it. That's like the Game Boy equivalent. It's like, but what I want to see is like,
what? That is so diabolical.
I know, right? Like they couldn't even get it out before the evil laugh started.
What I want to see is like a Madame Tussauds like Hall of the Presidents, but with like just all of the Smash Brothers characters. Like just full size, like life size figs.
Like they have human skin.
Yeah.
Like not real human skin, but it's like it's Waluigi.
What is happening today?
Okay.
You lost me. I was like, wait.
So that's enough about the museum. For the less exciting Nintendo news, that also kind of turns into exciting news. For those of you still playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, service ends at the end of November.
Damn.
However, it sounds like they're going to move into like an offline version, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it might be a good opportunity. I would hope that this is a version where like if you haven't played Pocket Camp all this time, you can play it now and have access to everything.
That'd be cool. Especially because like I know there's the Animal Crossing fan base is just so big and dedicated. Like it'd be cool for them to actually still be able to
Leo was saluting.
Be able to
those listening at home.
Continue their pocket, because I know the Pocket Camp like sometimes corresponds with like main game stuff too, so it's cool for people to be able to keep that stuff. And then even for people that still want to get into Animal Crossing but don't want to dedicate the
it's a great first step
entry.
into Animal Crossing for sure.
Super fun.
Actually, my favorite first step is buying a Nintendo 3DS and playing Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Now say that to camera. Say that to camera and give a thumbs up.
That like Reggie video of like, sorry guys, I gotta go back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. All right, next up we got a
OLED
double
edition.
The
screen is brighter and the sound is louder.
If they ever did an OLED 3DS, bro, I would be first in line. Speaking of being in line, actually you don't do this for movies anymore. Double dose of theatrical coming your way.
Hey.
Number 1, Lisa's been to theaters. It ruled. Next up, KENSHI YONEZU on the 2023 tour fantasy concert film.
Hell yeah.
A one-day only theatrical release. If you don't know KENSHI YONEZU, you should, because Kickback from Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, Kickback rules.
And also the theme from The Boy and the Heron, the latest Studio Ghibli movie.
It's sort of like a tour in a way when it's going to all these different cities, because it's like one night only, just like if they were playing in your city.
Yep.
Yeah,
which I think is cool.
Yeah. It's a really cool concept.
Yeah, I mean, so September 24th will be a one-day only special release, and then there will be premiere dates at select theaters in Los Angeles, London, Paris, New York, Toronto, Sydney, Mexico, Brazil, Peru, and Chile.
That's cool.
I think it's a fun way to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
Like,
World tour.
Like you said, it does. It kind of almost feels like
it feels
a
like
show.
an actual tour. Yeah.
And man, his music it's really good.
So good.
It's really good.
He's great.
Next up in the movie world, anime. We got to keep you up to date on anime movies.
Of course.
There's a release date for. Get ready to press the isekai button. Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom.
Gasp.
Hit the button. Hit the button.
I can't
reach over your laptop.
Reach over the laptop. Hit the button.
We're hitting it a bunch. It officially drops in North America on November 8th.
Yeah.
So next chapter of the Overlord series, it picks up at the end of season 4 and continues the journey of Eins Ul Gon. I like saying it like that. It just has good mouthfeel. Are you guys? I mean, I assume we're gonna go see these together.
Sure.
I need to probably catch up on Overlord before.
That's what I'm actually doing right now.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew it was coming.
Yep.
And it was like, all right, let me just go ahead and because I watched the first season.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me just start over. And so now while I'm working, I watch Overlord.
Heck yeah.
And then when I don't want to watch Overlord anymore, I watch One Piece. So
I mean,
there we go.
One Piece is just there. It's always there. You just always kind of roll back into it.
It is finally time for us to chat with the one, the only Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1 about their current tour and what songs like Battlecry still mean to them decades after being released. That's next.
Break a leg, guys. I'm so excited for you.
All right, everyone. As promised, we are super excited.
So excited, yeah.
To be here today with our guest, Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1.
Woo!
Yay.
Thank you guys. I know you guys have a very packed schedule, but thank you for coming to the Anime Effect. We really appreciate it.
We both had the opportunity to see you guys last night. You absolutely
show
shut
was
the house
incredible.
down. Incredible show. And I remember you mentioned on stage that Dallas was actually one of the first cities you performed in the U.S.
Yeah.
Wow. That seems to be a common thread for a lot of artists nowadays.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, like, one thing that I had to make sure that you guys knew, like, man, I just love hip hop music so much. And that show solidified it for me, right? Because it's just like the MC, you have a DJ, and it's just like just seeing it in its purest form. And even like when you add, the band to it as well, like it's incredible.
The spirit of the
Did
thing.
you get to catch OMA's hip hop medleys?
Yeah, I did catch OMA's
That's
medley.
mind-blowing
It
to
was
me,
incredible. And I love when they do the MF Doom stuff. So it's just like, man, it was just like, and their whole Kendrick set, I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
So we ask all of our guests that come on the show, what was your gateway anime?
Well, before I get into anime, I would like to hijack this podcast to issue a public apology to the city of Dallas.
Oh, yes. I was wondering if this was going to come up.
I had a seppuku moment.
Yeah.
And I want to set it on record. I was in such a trance. I forgot which song Let's Say Part 4, 3 or 4.
I think it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, I said another city name. But let's just say I stayed on, and usually I don't get to because OMA does all the meet and greet afterwards, but I personally stayed on, spoke to a lot of people. And you know what? I had a lot of good meetings, so I'm really glad. And a couple of them said, at least you didn't say Houston.
Right.
Oh, yeah. At least.
Yeah, I think Houston would have been a little worse.
I asked them, are we good? He said, we're chill. So I just want to set the record straight. But we had that said, both shows, to be fair, Austin and Dallas, it was very intense.
Yeah.
No lip service, because I can gauge it by how loud they get during the OMA set. You know what I mean? Like whether they're singing along with Outkast or, that's like, you grew up with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it's the same with, any other art form, but you just know it. So that was a really good feeling. And because this tour is special because OMA gets to open up for us, but they have their own set, and now A1's joining them. It's a whole chemistry going on, and we get to do our whole vocal set where there's a whole swath of other sets of fans who are more like Samurai Champloo fans or New Japanese fans. So it's been a great experience.
Yeah, you guys killed it.
But also, so let me answer his question. I mean, I don't want to speak for anyone, but we're both like born in the 70s, so we kind of went through the, golden age of like Jump comics. So we're obviously Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? Like raised. But before that, I was a big Tezuka fan. So that's where I always go back to, just reading manga and then getting into anime. But but of course, we're all fans of like Otomo and Miyazaki, the big ones.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would say Gundam.
Oh,
good choice.
Is it a particular Gundam series?
It's a first one.
Oh, the very first one. Yeah. Like me some Gundam. Have way too many model kits in my house. Not enough time to build.
So since we're now, talking about anime, so Battlecry, of course, which was the encore song last night, and you could tell just the audience was going crazy for it. When the beat starts, when they're kind of hearing that it's, we're about to get into it, it's just like a palpable energy. So what does the song mean to you now compared to, what it meant to you 20 years ago as an artist?
I mean, that's a very loaded question because a lot has happened in the last 20 years. Just the song. First of all, when I recorded the song and A1 was right there with me, like we did a whole Japanese version over a New Japanese beat called Horizon. So he scratched over it. We sent it in, and it came back and said, well, actually, either the producer, they want like a darker track with English lyrics. So he sent over the Battlecry beat, and just story that keeps giving, and even like this past year, we figured out where the tone came from.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, name any particular sample, but if you want to look into it. So that was a crazy discovery that just happened a couple of months ago. And you know what I mean? Obviously with Nujabes passing and just the reach that the show has had, every show we do, we have like people like in their 20s coming up to us, oh man, I used to stay up and watch it when I was 7 or 8. That's not uncommon for us, So it's really hard for me to wrap my head around, just being in that side, because we're just like almost bystanders in terms of like being on this side. I'm sure same thing goes on with anime. When you're creating it, you don't really think of the effects or what kind of a reaction it'll elicit if you're just taking it all in for the first time. Not just the music, but you know what I mean, the whole package, right? Yeah. So I can go into so many episodes, but it's just been very incredible run. And of course with the OMA, like we just performed it.
Like it's so
sounded
different.
So good.
Hearing it with like, because the original track is fantastic, but when you add OMA, like there's something about live hip hop that just makes it so much different. Like the energy is just immediately different. And you were talking about the sample, like, we were talking a little bit before off camera, when the sample kicks up, people are like, I know what's happening, but I'm not sure I know what's happening. And then as it continues, you're like, oh, no, wait.
Yeah, you can feel it.
We definitely tease with that one because we came up with a way to just kind of go off, but it is, and it's the actual sample. So your brain knows. You know what I mean? Your brain knows, but for you to put it all together, it's like, oh, okay.
And you were talking about like seeing older fans, newer fans, like coming up to you talking about this track. What do you think it is about, in particular about this song that is so timeless and is something that, fans are still connecting to?
I mean, I have to say, it is the power of the animation because we were fortunate enough to be in the opening track, so you can't really, you can't skip through it, but it's such a short one verse. Like most people will tell me, well, they just gotta watch that.
No skip.
Yeah. You know what I mean? No skip, all caps. But it's like,
there you go.
I mean, it's just way more than the sum of its parts. It's just such a synergistic situation where, of course, I got the beat, and of course the lyrics. I try to reflect my heritage as much as possible. I wrote it in 2004, but I was speaking about my own heritage that I can trace back to 2 samurai clans. I have I have a friend who actually makes. He's a swordsmith, like full time.
Awesome,
and a very very pure swordsmith at that, because they collect their own iron from riverbeds. They don't get it from the mills. So I got to see that firsthand and saw how a sword is actually crafted. So that was fresh on my mind when I said, sharp like an edge of a samurai sword. Like that was a whole story behind it.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is incredible. So this Lovesick Hexology tour, you guys are playing the Lovesick songs years after release, but then now you're playing them with OMA.
Yeah.
So what has that been like for you guys, revisiting those songs in a brand new fashion?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some nostalgia there as well.
What do you think?
It's like work with different generation people. It's more, we can explain more dynamic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because OMA is half our age. Like seriously, like literally half our age.
Wow.
But they're, obviously hip hop IQ and just musicianship is off the charts.
Yeah.
And how well they play together.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
In the pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of every single member of that band, like individually and as a whole. They're like a crazy Megatron that they themselves are very cool about it, chill about it, but I think they're incredible. Over the years, we've played many iterations of that series, and of course me and A1, like say we just did a recent tour in China just off of DJing. It still, goes off too. And what was different with OMA, with any other band that we've played, is that a lot of times he would play the track and people would play on top of it and do solos, and that's beautiful too. But OMA in my experience, they actually don't want to do that. They take pride in recreating the groove and the texture with just their instruments. So at first, I think there was a learning curve on both sides, but once it started clicking, I feel very comfortable. And even if they start the groove, I think sometimes the scratching will trigger the memory of, oh, okay, now we're in Leipzig Part 3, for example. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I think Lee and I can both speak to the chemistry you all had on stage.
It's incredible.
It was, dare I say, magical. Like sometimes you just need to hear like, and I know you spoke a little bit about like music's power to heal on stage last night. Sometimes you just need to hear something at a certain time. And I think that definitely hit for me last night. Like I needed to hear that music last night.
Thank you so much.
You guys really rocked the house.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk about you guys' careers for a little bit. You guys are legends in the game at this point, but what were some of you guys' influences as far as being in the hip hop space? Because I know everybody is somebody that's worked in music. Like everybody's like influences are different.
Yeah, when I was in junior high school, I used to listen to a lot of Japanese pops. But when I first heard about hip hop music, I think it was a Real Cruiser or something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's completely different from J-pop.
Yeah.
I feel like a different energy.
Yeah.
I don't know what talking about, but the rhythm and the beats makes me so crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm started digging all the alternative, like American, hip hop.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm interested about this music.
Oh man. Yeah. Hellel's a good one.
Yeah, but with A1, he took the steps to move to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And where DJing, scratching was the mecca of turntablism, you know, with DJ Qbert, Shortcut, Apollo, Mixmaster Mike. Yeah. So that's how we connected, you know. And so for me, I moved to the Bay Area when I was in high school. And I was just an art kid until my senior year. Then I moved to UC Berkeley as a student in 1993. And that was quite a pivotal year for Bay Area hip hop because the song 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief was blasting everywhere, including our dorm rooms. And just for me, I was just starstruck. Like I used to listen to Dell when I was in high school, and just to know, Souls of Mischief is part of hieroglyphics. And it was like meeting, honestly, like Marvel heroes in real life. Yeah. That's what it seemed like. And the fact that they were like same age, essentially, it just blew me away. Just how high level their artistry and lyricism, delivery, freestyle capabilities, it was just like mind blowing. And I think, in my humble opinion, it's still kind of unmatched what teenagers essentially were able to do at that time in the mid 90s, because it was kind of break from some of the more traditional like East Coast hip hop. It was just so fluid. Yeah. And it wasn't just Hyro, like Hobo Junction, Living Legends came out of that crew. So I was just doing art with anyone, that would just take me in, honestly. And I was just so mesmerized by that whole scene. And slowly but surely, I started doing my own thing, starting from freestyle sessions in the dorms to making beats with my Akai sampler, and then moved up to a sampling keyboard, started rapping, at DJ parties. And it was slow, really slow burn. But, by the late 90s, I started releasing my own albums.
Yeah. It was a golden age for sure.
For sure.
I love it.
So, Spinmaster, the way you incorporate traditional music with modern beats is absolute perfection. So cool. And we got a taste of that last night. What has the energy from the crowds been like for you on this tour as you sort of weave together, these mixes live?
Well, I think people feel very fresh about Japanese traditional music with hip hop beats. So you can hear maybe one song a night or two songs a night, but I play like 10 of them in 15 minutes. So it's kind of represent where I came from. And I respect hip hop music. So I can show them how much I love hip hop and how much I love my own culture.
Yeah.
So I want to explain together. And beginning of this year, me and Shingo and OMA did a Samurai Champloo Award. So it's much more makes sense to put the taste of hip hop and the samurai culture and the anime.
Yeah.
So that was, this is a good idea to put my own beats more in this tour. It makes more tight. You know? First set, I play a lot of Nujabes stuff. The second play, it's like more people feel like a Japan, samurai.
Yeah.
All the sound came from the traditional Japanese music. So it's good open for Shingo, I think, and OMA.
Yeah.
So
I think
completely
that,
different.
Yeah.
that cultural blend is what really makes it so unique and like just downright fun to listen to. Like as someone who was in the audience last night.
Oh,
yeah,
when you start going off, like people were just like in it. Like, they're feeling it.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
just like, man. Like,
That crowd in particular is very locked in.
yeah.
And my take is, A1 does a really good job of, really showcasing what the music is about. Because he would play, for example, DJ Crush, absolute legend that, he's like a god, you know what I mean, at this point in terms of hip hop. His style is a contrast to, like, say, a DJ Crush, like, is more rhythmic and, also blended with turntablism, you know? So it's more like a performance. And, we have one album, all Japanese samples, and he has like 10, 20 albums worth of music, just waiting to come out. So, yeah, it's how you do it. It all starts from an idea. Oh, let's blend Japanese samples with hip hop beats. But I personally think that it takes years, to really perfect what style, and just like OMA, how you really texture it. What is the rhythmic cadence, and just how it's mixed and everything. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of patience, I think.
Yeah. And what do you think is like? This is kind of, I'm going off script, but what do you think is kind of like the special ingredient with mixing that music live? I know you talked about keeping it fresh and like, what is the extra element that you think listeners get when it's constructed live?
Well, I want to say it's the concept of matsuri.
Yeah.
You've heard of the
Matsuri,
word. Yeah, matsuri.
Festival.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's something that's ingrained. It's not just Japanese culture, but when you hear the drum, taiko, or breakbeat, it's really the same concept. You hear it live, loud, in modern context, it's through speakers, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just very festive. So, and then you feed off of the energy. Obviously, we cannot give the same show that we did yesterday with no one in the crowd.
Right.
We're literally feeding off the energy of the crowd. And same thing with A1, even if he does turntables, like if the crowd gives a good response, then he'll translate it back to maybe more animated moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like a partnership with the audience.
Oh, no doubt.
And
that is what Matsuri is. And Matsuri definitely has like not just festivity, but definitely a whole spiritual element to just people coming together.
Yeah.
Wow. I love
Celebrate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
celebration. It is a celebration. Yeah.
You heard that, people who are listening at home, be present in the moment when you're at a concert.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And that's the whole value that people, have sacrificed, to come to a show. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure.
So we know we got to let you guys go. Everybody's schedules are really tight today.
Word up. It's all good.
But one last question. What anime would you guys love to do music for? Like, I know you guys, of course, Battlecry is legendary, but if there's anything in the modern setting, what would you guys like to take a stab at?
Well, if I may, I would like to plug. We did a stop animation called Hidari, which is incredible.
Okay.
So our friend Masashi Kamura kind of did a whole trailer that's 2 minutes long?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's still crazy. So it's different than cell animation, but it's stop animation. And he's trying to put out a full length in the future. So it might take 2-3 years for it to complete, but we're excited to hopefully be on board for a project like that. So that's kind of on our minds. But in terms of traditional animation, like we're game, you know, like honestly,
Yeah.
like I had the pleasure of doing the end theme of Spriggan, you know, that came out last year. My friend KENSHI did the whole soundtrack for Yakitori, so I watched that. So, you know, we're just like for hire, honestly. We're like samurais. You know?
There you go.
If we're asked to do something, we'll just try to slay it. Because, you know, a lot of people ask, like, how did you get those gigs? I'm like, I don't know. They asked
Yeah, but they just come up.
yeah, they asked us, you know, and I would wish that we would get opportunities or just his beats.
Yeah.
I feel it should get more exposure, or OMA. Definitely should do a soundtrack, you know what I mean? So it's all about connecting, but it's all about timing too.
True.
You know, like Shinichiro Watanabe told me years later, he asked New Japan and myself because he was a fan of hip hop. He used to buy our vinyls, but we can't ask until they ask, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. And then finally, you know, as we're letting you go for the day, is there anything you guys want to say to the fans at home who are listening, to anyone who came out, you know, last night or any stop on this tour?
Thank you for coming our show, and I also super exciting at Dallas. So we have more show, but I'm so excited too. So maybe see you next year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so straight up, big up Crunchyroll, big up city of Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Big up state of Texas. But worldwide, you know, I know how big Crunchyroll is. We were so blown away by the scale of the Anime Awards. I know it's worldwide. Yeah. It's insane. And I love the fact that whether it's hip hop or anime, people are down to dig and look at the classics as well as the latest and freshest and greatest. So, you know, we're just happy and honored to be in the mix. So check out OMA, check out our music, and hopefully see you on the road.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time, but you guys are welcome back whenever.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
If you guys have not seen Shingo or Spinmaster or OMA, tour still going, Lovesick, Hexology tour, get your tickets.
Yeah.
Please do not sleep. This show was incredible. The tickets will sell out fast. They were turning people away at the door when I got there yesterday. So please do not sleep on this tour. Thank you guys again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It was absolutely amazing talking to Shing02 and Spinmaster A-1. If you guys have the chance, please go see the show.
Yeah. The opportunity.
It's amazing.
The videos looked incredible.
Yeah. But the live album actually is out. So if you can't make it to the show, you can listen to the live album.
Great interview, guys.
Thank you, sir. But next, you know what time it is. Recommendations.
Ooh. Okay. That was jazzy.
I heard we have another theme this week.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
with it.
loving the themes.
I'm with it.
What is it?
All right. From Kazer via our question form, what is your favorite anime where the main character is overpowered?
That's a
That
good
is
one.
so
wait.
many. So many. So many.
Honestly,
Young Nicholas?
Okay. Waiting all week for that one.
Young Nicholas.
Where it's like through the Wii remote.
Yes.
I took this question in a different direction because you know me. I love to subvert expectations.
He does. Likes to swerve every now and then.
Subversion.
My favorite OP main character is Senku from Dr. Stone.
That is not even a lie.
It's not
that is not even a lie.
The hopeless optimism of Dr. Stone. So if you haven't watched Dr. Stone, I know we've talked about it on the show before, but it's set in a world where humanity turns to stone, and Senku, by sheer force of will and remaining conscious for like, I don't know, thousands of years.
Yeah.
Breaks out of this rock cocoon and then starts basically from nothing creating all of science and technology.
Yep.
And how realistic it is, I don't know. They do a good job in like making it all seem kind of like a science fair project.
They do.
But he'll be like, well, now that we've invented food, we need to invent guns.
Right. And it's major leaps, right? Like it's not even like, hey, we're going to progress into stuff. He's like, nah, I figured out how to like unpetrify everybody. So let's just make artillery. And it's like, bro, what? Like, we need a place to stay. We need to figure out food. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, we can put roofs on our houses now. So it's time to go to space.
Right.
That is Dr. Stone. And it's so good because every single character gasses him up about
every single one.
And
his best friend is the worst about it.
Which best friend? Taiju, Chrome. Like they're all about it.
They all collectively just like, yeah, he's gonna do some crazy shit. Let's do some crazy let's be about it. Let's do it.
I love when it's so unrealistic when they take like the like gemstone and turn it into like a vinyl record that can play. It's so good. I love it. Dr. Stone is one of my favorite anime series, but Senku Ishigami,
Senku is great.
Man, he is incredibly OP. But I gotta know, Leah, what your pick is.
Like you said, there's a lot to choose from here. So I'm going to try to pick one from my list. But the first that comes to mind...
You should see it. It's a literal scroll.
There's a list,
The first one that comes to mind, which I had so much fun watching this series, and I might be butchering the pronunciation, but I think it's Kakegurui.
Kakegurui.
Yeah.
Gurui. Which is basically a gambling anime.
Yeah.
It is high stakes.
And I would say that Yumiko Jabami, who is like, she's like a gambling addict,
the main character?
sort of. She's like an anti-hero a little bit. The main character is kind of viewing the school from like, it's in his perspective, but really she is sort of the main character. I hesitate to say love interest of his because it's really not centered on that.
Right.
It's really just like about these cool like games that they put together. I love that anime. I had so much fun with it. And I think there's also like an OVA or like a special spin-off or something.
Yeah, it is a Netflix genre.
But yeah, she like is OP because she's able to like mastermind her way around these really complex like gambling puzzles.
Yeah.
There are many times
gambling
where I'm like,
puzzles?
Yeah.
What kind of show is this? Is this like Now You See Me or whatever? Magician show? You know, Jesse Eisenberg pops out and he's like, sign up for Facebook.
Jump scare. Jump scare Jesse Eisenberg. But yeah, she's OP because she's like big brained AF, and it's really fun to watch.
She's
like how
Jimmy
she
Neutron.
gets, like Jimmy
no
Neutron.
hesitation. Yes.
She's really, it's awesome to see how she's able to like get out of these impossible situations that you're like, she's definitely gonna die here because they play like high stakes, like life
if death
or
is
death.
I was like, if death is on the table,
Saw
is
Trap.
that the
like the original
is
Yu-Gi-Oh?
that the tagline? Death is on the table, like
Oh,
poker.
that's good.
That'd be great. That's
good.
awesome. They probably didn't use it.
No, they probably didn't.
But yeah, I'll say Yumiko or Psyche of Psyche K
Nice.
are my two favorites, and then my runner.
We say one pick.
What are we doing? What
I'll
They
just
put one.
go
They
with
also
those
put
two.
One Punch Man,
Yeah,
which I
also
feel
One
like is
Punch
like
Man.
of course it's
Yeah.
going to be in there. LeAlec, is this an isekai?
It is.
All right. Well, say the title and then we're going to hit the button.
The aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. It is an isekai.
This title, it's two titles.
It's basically two titles, yes. So I was thinking about this question, and I'm like, man, I have to find a show that I like that isn't the ones that I talk about every 5 seconds.
Fair. I appreciate trying to diversify the recommendations.
But the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, I absolutely love this little isekai.
Is it in season or is it last season?
It was a couple seasons.
Okay.
But Kane is the main character, and it fits into the trope of just having overpowered MCs that also happen to be children for no reason.
Okay.
He gets reincarnated, basically, if I remember correctly, like she's trying to stop a mugging, gets reincarnated, and basically is like given a bunch of gifts from the gods of where he is now that just makes him super overpowered. But then also because of that, he kind of is stuck contractually doing stuff for them. And he's like, I really don't like you guys, like, because you made me like, you gave me all these powers that I didn't really ask for. So now you're like,
now you gotta work for me.
Now I have to basically save the country now. Thanks a lot.
It's a lot of pressure.
Indentured servitude.
Yeah,
Oh my
but I mean, it's great. Like if you guys like Wistaria, or if you like Seventh Prince, like
Wistaria does have an OP.
It kind of fits into that mold, but it's a little more goofy. There's a little more hijinks involved.
I like that. Like more mashal-y?
Yeah, a little more mashally, yeah. Because like you see how overpowered the kid is. Like Kane is insanely overpowered, but then also like when he's doing stuff outside of when he has to be in battle, he's just a kid.
Love that.
Just a normal kid. So and it's I think it's animated super great. So definitely worth a watch.
I like that.
Oh, fourth mention, Kirby. Right back at you.
Kirby's a god emperor. Like Kirby's a being that exists outside of our
we cannot perceive Kirby.
Causer, thank you for writing in, y'all. Great Rex.
It was amazing.
You guys want to hear from someone else who wrote in? Because we're about to open this mail. I want to see you open this mailbag.
Mailbag.
You know, like the pit?
Yeah.
That's why I did a hand motion if you're listening.
Yep.
This question comes from Emily via our question form.
I love that people use the question form.
I know. As a reminder, question form, got.cr/anime effect questions. That is got.cr/anime effect questions.
And it does not stand for Game of Thrones. GOT.
That's right. It doesn't. It stands for got. Like, got it. Okay.
Damn.
This question is, if you were any character from anime, who would you be? Now, I'm going to put a spin on this question, which is, we're going to pick for each other.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
LeAlec is... I'm looking up the name of this character.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say someone from Ultimate Wrestling.
Well, I feel like that was the easy one, but I'm going to go with from Kimono Michi Rise Up, which is the wrestling isekai. Hit the isekai button. Genzo Shibata, who is a wrestler, but also loves animals, because I think this is the one where he wants to have a pet shop. So that's you.
That's going into your love of Fluffy Paradise.
Yep, there you go.
And for Leah...
This is hard. I should have taken more time to think about this.
Hard. Okay. For Leah, I'm going to go with, from Little Witch Academia.
Oh.
You are, Atsuko Kagari,
Oh.
main character. I just think your optimism and your energy and just the positivity you just bring to all these spaces.
Clumsiness. Airheadedness.
Lack of magical ability. I think you are Kagari from Little Witch Academia.
Ambition beyond my skill. Okay, let me think for you both. Well,
I feel like there's an easy one for me.
I was gonna put you in some rom-com.
I'm thinking of two for you. For Leah, I want to make sure I don't butcher this name, but Kuo Ling from Linklet.
Oh,
she's the landlord of the two main characters.
Oh yeah. That's a good pick.
But she also assists them in the photo studio.
Yep.
So it very much still a part of the action, but doesn't really have to be a part of it if she doesn't have to. But then she also is a badass when she has to be a part of the action.
Just like Leah, too cool for us. Doesn't
That's
want
not
to travel
true.
with
I love
us.
hanging out with you guys.
And then for young Nicholas, I love it that that's just a thing. Man, I was gonna go with the easy answer,
which is
the easy answer was Boji.
Yeah,
that was the easy answer. But I think what I'm gonna do is gonna be Tai from Digimon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like Tai. He takes his goggles. He goes whoop.
Because I think goggles are a thing. They should always be a thing. Unironically,
that is so kind of you. That would be one of the Digidestined.
But I feel like. Just the way that you operate, you feel very much like a Tai, but then also you give Nick a magical digital creature. And who knows?
Greymon.
Okay,
But it doesn't mean that you have to stick to Agumon as a partner.
It's true. He's good. I would probably go Terriermon.
Oh, I love Terriermon
Because,
so much, bro.
or Patamon. Anyway, thank you. Those are good picks.
Nick, you are Gojo, but not from JJK. You're Wakana Gojo from My Dress Up Darling.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Nick, or not Nick, Lee.
Wait, I get two?
You get two?
And Lee, I was going to say the main character from Ultimate Muscle, but that's too much of an obvious pick.
That's why I didn't pick it.
I'm going to say Piccolo.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
Piccolo.
That's a good pick.
Also,
That's a
because
great
when
pick.
I first met you, I was so intimidated by you. 'Cause I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cool and like he's so serious. And
That's
then,
Piccolo.
Yeah, and then I'm like, wow, he's got
And then
like
you meet him and he's
such a soft heart and like
texting on his flip phone.
Yeah, holding his
No Riz. Just kidding. You have Riz.
Piccolo's actually, that's pretty great.
You know, yeah,
I like it.
That's
It's
a good
pretty
pick. That's a good pick.
Wow, I think we all had good ones for each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks for writing in, Emily. As a reminder, question form. I'm not reading it again. Click the link or
Rewind it like a minute and a half.
yeah, just rewind it. Or,
Get
you
the
know,
question
5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
There you go.
5-star review on Spotify. Leave a comment on Spotify. Reply to the poll. Do all of the stuff.
Find us.
Do
We'll
all the
find you.
stuff.
And while you're on Spotify, check out the Spotify shelf on the Anime Hub.
Ooh.
Look, we gave you the placement last week. You don't have to do that. Lee, take us out.
All right. Quick shout out to the dude I met at the concert. Didn't get your name. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
recognize Lee.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Anime Effect, brought to you by Crunchyroll and the folks over at Sony Music Entertainment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Crunchyroll presents The Anime Effect is hosted by me, Young Nicholas, LeAlec Murray, and Leah President. We're executive produced by Jonathan Hirsch, Shara Morris, and also me still. Our lead producer is Kyla Carnero, and our associate producer is Zoe Culkin. Patrick Emile edited and mixed this episode's audio. Kevin Lee filmed, and Casey Simonson edited the video. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Carla Solorzano and Tamika Balance Kalasny.
We will be back next week with even more anime, of course.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do
nothing.
about
There's
it.
nothing you can do about it in the comments. I don't want no wiggle room. There is nothing
There's
you
Nothing.
can do about it.
Nothing. Later days, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye. This guy in the comment section was like, what's the name of this anime?
Your
and he
name.
goes, your name. He goes, Andrew. And then someone photoshopped like Andrew on the your name poster. So good.